He's one of the nation's biggest-selling authors in the last 50 years and has been in the middle of a fair share of his own Tory leadership intrigues. So who better to talk today about the high drama in Westminster this week than Baron Archer of Weston-super-Mare, otherwise known to you and I as plain old Jeffrey Archer.
Right, John.
We've got a new thriller out in paperback this week. Jeffrey, very good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Politics. Let's start with that.
I knew you'd start on politics. My advisors said, now, they won't let you talk about the book, Jeffrey. They won't be able to, you won't be able to mention the title, Over My Dead Body. You won't be able to say it's gone to #1 because the first word will be politics. Yes.
You've done an excellent job of shoehorning both of those in. Over My Dead Body, you shoehorned it, which is, of course, the title of the book. I said it, you said it. I'm actually going to come back to you and ask you about the book as well. But you were involved in Conservative politics for 40 years. You were close friends with two Prime Ministers, Margaret Thatcher and then John Major. Your thoughts now on the current psychodrama playing out in the Tory party?
Well, you have to remember that I'm 82 years old, so I am an observer. I'm not involved in any way. I sit in the House of Lords, but I'm not involved in any way. But I do, you're quite right. I remember those two very well indeed. In the case of Margaret Thatcher, she sent me down to John Major to get him to sign the nomination papers. And it's something I won't forget the rest of my life. I went down, John Major seconded it, Douglas Hurd had proposed it, John Major seconded it, I took it back to Downing Street, and I'll never forget John Whittingdale, who was the private secretary. I said, here it is, and he put it in the out tray, and I knew then she was not going to go on the next day.
Right.
If he'd said, oh, good, thank God, Jeffrey, we've got that. And in the case of John Major...
But let me ask you about today, because
Sorry.
there is a psychodrama playing out, which does have a little bit of reminiscence coming back from those big fights, the one to oust Margaret Thatcher as well. Do you think the Conservative Party is doing the right thing? You know Boris Johnson, you know his story, you know what's happened here. If you did have a vote, how would you vote? Would you vote to keep him?
Well, I don't have a vote, so, and I was taught by no less a figure than President Gorbachev, who said, if you hear anyone use the word if, don't answer the question. So that's the end of that one. I didn't have a vote, but I did feel it was the worst of both worlds.
The
result yesterday was the worst of both worlds, because I would have liked a clean victory for the Prime Minister or a loss, so we could move on. This in-between put us in no man's land, and the only people who will benefit from that is the Labour Party.
So how do you move on from this? He's not going to go, and his rebels don't want him to stay, so they're not going to agree to be led by him. What is the way out of it for your party?
I'm not sure at the moment there is a way out, because actually we are also at the same time facing massive problems all over the world that we know about, and it will take a very strong Prime Minister and a very strong cabinet to get through those. If these were easier times, mind you, if they were easier times, he might have had a better vote. But on balance, I don't see a way out.
Apart from Boris Johnson to go out?
Well, that's his decision, not yours or mine, Tom.
OK. You don't want to enter in the fray. You don't have to. Jeffrey, let's talk about the book Over My Dead Body, which is the name of the title, not what I'm just saying to you. It's a riveting read about a fictitious Met Police cold case squad, but based on real-life interviews you've done.
Well, the fun with the Warwick series is that I've worked with Detective Chief Superintendent Johnny Sutherland and Michelle Roycroft, who was a detective sergeant in the drug squad. So I have two true experts making sure I don't make any mistakes so that the actual facts are right.
I thought you made it all up, Jeffrey. There's a nation out there disappointed it's not coming from your head.
No, no. But you've got to get the facts right. You can make it up, but if you get anything wrong, you'll get 100 letters the next day saying, oh, don't be silly. Detective Sergeant comes before Detective Inspector. You've got it the wrong way round. You've got to get every fact on the police file. So I have two absolute experts. They read about the 8th or 9th draft of the book. So I've done the whole story. Then I give it to them, and they say, you can't do that, you can't do that, that's OK, you can't do that. And they've taught me a tremendous amount over the 4 books. It's been a very great privilege.
Finally, I do want to put this to you. It was rumoured, Jeffrey, that you were going to replace Piers Morgan to present GMB. Piers Morgan, now a colleague of mine on talkTV. You're not doing that, so what's happened?
Well, we couldn't agree a fee. I thought Piers was underpaid, and I said very firmly to
Can I suggest another thing? You're not rude enough.
What?
You're not rude enough.
No, well, am I too courteous? No, I just didn't feel that I was available at that salary. I had better things to do. And Piers, don't forget, I'm 82. I know Piers is sort of 80, 81, but I'm older than he is, so I've got to give the youngster a chance.
I think maybe you are
and
rude
he's
enough
someone,
after all.
by the way, he's someone, Tom, you won't be getting rid of. Talk about Boris Johnson. Piers will be there. They'll have to drag him out of the studio.
Be careful, he's listening down in Ealing as we speak. Jeffrey Archer, pleasure talking to you. Thanks for coming in.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.